sure I don't overdo it with his food or snacks, because I'm not sure if I'll be able to afford any food for the following week. It doesn't make it any better that he has a lot of food allergies and is also a very picky eater. If I try to apply to DTA for food stamps, I'll get a denial letter because I make too much money. So where is that money? WIC is next in line where I'm going to get cut off because I make too much money, but yet I'm still struggling. I drive my car to work and try not to do any special activities in between because who's to say I'm going to have the $50 to fill up my gas tank? If I don't have gas, I won't be able to get to any of my 4 jobs. And if I can't get to any of my 4 jobs, where am I going to get any money from? I'm paying rent, utilities including water and sewage, car note, car and rental insurance, daycare, baseball for my son, and the list goes on. Right now, me having 4 jobs is not a walk in the park. I'm anxious that I may lose my Section 8 voucher because I'm over 21. But if they take my Section 8 voucher away, I'll be right back in shelter, but with a son this time around. I cannot afford to live in Boston without assistance. Do I want to live on assistance my whole life? No. But for right now, it's the only way I'm making it by, barely. I'm trying to buy a home with my Section 8, but it's even harder to save when prices for everything are going up. The more money you make while on Section 8 makes your rent increases, so that means cutting back on certain things. I don't think I would have seen myself working 4 jobs while being a single mother, but here I am. Currently, I'm FMLA from 2 of my main jobs while still being a personal care assistant and able to pick up hours at the adolescent shelter I once lived at, yet I'm still struggling. I took a break from my main job because mentally I am drained, sad, anxious. I want to be able to live in this world without having to sacrifice my mental health. I want to be able to spend time with my child and be there for all of his accomplishments. I don't ever want to tell my son, Mommy can't make it to your presentation today because I have to work. And don't get me wrong, I show up every time for my son, no matter how much money I'm losing. But I am stressed. I'm going to stress about it later, and I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't be punished for accepting a better job for my family or accepting a raise. I am tired of surviving in this world. I want to live it.
I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Jamie Otwisa. I'm currently living in Lancaster. I am originally from Dillon. I have been on and off disability for over 25 years. I am currently on disability, again, as a result of the cliff effect. I am a single mother of a 15-year-old son with multiple disabilities. I have been divorced since 2013. And even after a 5-year court battle during which I received full custody, I have never received child support. Our family moved into an apartment in Methuen in 2009 for $850. I believe my benefits at the time of my divorce then were about $1,500. Without WIC, a small amount of food stamps, and the help of my parents, I couldn't have provided enough food for my child. Even with fuel assistance, his pediatrician repeatedly filled out medical forms for his asthma, so our utilities wouldn't be shut off. When my son was in grammar school, I worked part-time. If I was ever asked to cover someone's sick day or work extra hours, I would lose my disability benefits for the month. Often my parents would need to cover our rents and utilities. My son's father was on and off disability as well. He would work without notifying me, and I would unexpectedly lose my benefits. In order to prevent future non-payments, I begged Social Security to leave my son under my benefits. But because his dads were $20 more a month, they kept him under his. And it just became a guessing game over whether or not I would receive benefits and be able to pay rent and utilities. In 2018, our home was sold. We were evicted. Rents had doubled. And even with a part-time job, I couldn't afford rent. I made too much money to qualify for raft. So we couldn't even get first, last, and security. We were 30 minutes from my son's school because we had moved in with a man I had only been seeing a short time who was extremely kind. And I lost my child care. We lost our whole community. And what happened was my son, he began missing months of school due to his disabilities. And if he didn't go to school, I couldn't go to work. So in March of 2019, my son and I began couch surfing. We were homeless. We proceeded to move 8 more times, including living at a domestic violence shelter. July of 2022, I was hired as a housing coordinator for a nonprofit in Lowell. I really thought our lives were turning around. I was still looking for permanent housing. We were temporarily living in my childhood home, which was being sold in September to pay for my elderly parents' care. Mm-hmm. I found a Habitat for Humanity home that was being resold, and I applied, and I got it. Yes. Yes, was right. So we moved to Lancaster, and even though I want to say that even though my salary alone surpassed Habitat's limits, they allowed because of our circumstances. So that's something to keep in mind. Mm-hmm. Okay, I would say, so we lived in a hotel for 3 weeks, and because that was the between time between both homes. McKinneyville, though, I was told, would not cover transportation. So I lost 10 hours of work for those 3 weeks because I had to provide transportation for my child. Then they said he needed extra help. They still wouldn't provide transportation. So another 10 hours every week lost. And I think we need to keep in mind, I was working as a housing coordinator, and those people lost my time and my assistance. Mm-hmm. And it trickles down. Then my son finally stopped going to school in January of last year, and he entered a hospital program. And when he was released, there was no support. DDS would not support us. I was going to take FMLA, however, $600 a month for insurance, benefits, waiting. The doctor could not see us for a month to even fill out the paperwork. So I ended up quitting my job and going back on disability because it was the right choice to keep our family afloat. And then also, I want to say that through Women's Money Matters, I bought my own home. I also I paid off my car loan, and my credit score is almost 800 at this point. I was given this $500. What could that have gone to? It could have paid my mortgage. I couldn't pay my mortgage 1 month. Disability was coming after me for benefits for my son, for my ex-husband working and collecting. We didn't get a check in December. Christmas, imagine, no check. And these are the things that people have to deal with on a regular basis. And I just want you to know that I appreciate everyone being here today, and I hope we can really work together to really figure out a solution. You, people like us with lived experience, come together and really recognize the human experience that is happening, and just we really have to stop viewing it is us versus them. And work together to make sure everyone has a home and financial well-being and is no longer just surviving.